we've discussed with you in the past that you want to make a difference and make an impact out there. How would you rate your performance so far, especially in that first preseason game?
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. Obviously, nice to win. Both teams won the same night, so it was good for the organization. I think just building every day, like I've said, trying to get better in practice in each game, and then tonight's a big game, I think, for everyone, and especially me. I want to definitely show a good performance tonight, and just playing New York is going to be really fun, so excited.
What do you want to show specifically in this game tonight?
I think just a well-rounded game, and I think I had some chances in that Montreal game that I could have bared down on. So I think tonight just continue to play that well-rounded game, and also if I get my chances to bear down and bury one.
It's a different group than the first two games here. There's some from Montreal, some from Philly on this roster. What do you all want to take away from those first two wins into tonight's game?
Yeah, just like I said, continue to build on stuff, and then also just keep getting better. And I think there's some new guys, and then some guys who are just adjusting the system and everything. So I think that everyone is on the same page now. It was a good first game, and then to just get even better tonight. And they're probably going to adjust a pretty good roster in New York, so it's going to be a good test for us. But I'm excited.
What are you sort of seeing from your role when they're putting you in that power play position, and what is your role there that you've been explaining?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to show my strengths as well. I think I can do some good stuff on the power play. So to get an opportunity to do that tonight is going to be good for me. And I think just trying to capitalize on anything I can do in practice or in games, just trying to make the most of the opportunity and just keep going.
How important is it when, let's say, you wanted to bury those chances, it didn't happen? How much is it keeping that in the back of your head, knowing that you're still doing other good things, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not all about goals.
Yeah, exactly. I think, if you're getting chances, you're generating, and if you're playing in the O zone, you don't want to play in the D zone. So those are good signs. And like you said, just doing the right things, it might always go in, but just continue to play well. And I think you can have a good game if you don't score, but obviously scoring is nice too. So we always want to do that.
Okay, you talked about some guys learning the system that are newer here. Obviously now you've been in the organization for a few years. Like, how similar do you guys play in Utica to what they do in New Jersey so that you guys are ready to come up here?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for me. Like I've played the system for probably 2 years now, so I'm definitely a new guy to the Devils, but I'm considering the system in Utica that we played and stuff, I'm pretty familiar with that stuff, which is, I think, helped me a lot in this camp just to be familiar with that kind of stuff. And just knowing where to be on the ice is really important, and being in your spot and stuff like that. So it's been good, and I feel comfortable, and just, again, trying to get better every day as well.
Yeah, you mentioned it is the Rangers. I know it's the preseason, but it's the Rangers. You're playing at MSG. That's got to give you a little extra juice for this one, right?
Yeah, I think anytime I played at MSG last year for preseason too, and then to do it again this season, I think it's super fun, and obviously historic rink. So to be out there, it doesn't matter if it's preseason or not. It's just definitely a lot of fun.
For both teams picking up wins in the first preseason games, what do you want to carry over? What lessons or systems or learning moments do you all want to carry over as a group for tonight?
Well, obviously the game we had versus Philly, we came out with a good start, and we stayed with the structure, and we played our system good right from the start. And I think obviously that's important for us as a team to come in with that intensity and play with that structure and detail. And especially on a road game, you got to be careful. You got to have good details, and especially against the team we're playing against.
Yeah, and what do the Rangers bring, even in just a preseason game? What do they bring to these matchups?
Well, they always bring good intensity, and they have a lot of good guys that definitely can put the puck in the back of the net if you give them too much time and space. And they get good D that can really skate and move the puck and set up their offense. And obviously we got to get in front of Igor and take his eyes away and make it a hard night for him.
Even though special teams were just introduced before that first, both teams got a power play goal. What are you seeing out of the power play from today's reps and also from those last games?
Yeah, obviously it's a good start. Obviously you build up a lot of confidence in the group to get a power play goal, and we've been talking about helping the team getting momentum out of our power play, and it's just something that we keep going. And obviously this early in the season and in preseason, it's a lot of stuff are not set yet. So, but it's good that we put that work into practice, and we work on the details to make sure in games it's all there.
Brad, you played a ton with Jack last year. Obviously, in the preseason games so far, you had to be split up because of the split squad. And then Tyler's been on your line throughout training camp. I'm wondering, what dynamic does Tyler bring to both of you guys that's a proper complement to the way you guys see the ice?
Oh, I definitely think he makes us both better. He's extremely smart, and he sees the game really well. And he's great on the walls. He's great net front, and obviously he knows how to find the back of the net. And I think he's a great player for me and Jack with our speed to kind of find us in those areas. And obviously I've practice with him a lot now, but it's going to be exciting to get out there during a game and play with him for real.
What is it that he sees on the ice that's so beneficial to both of you?
Well, he sees lanes very well. He sees like how to get the puck into different areas, and he knows where to place himself to get open, and he knows kind of how to slow the game down to open up more space in behind and that kind of stuff. So he's a smart guy, and I'm looking forward to play with him.
The 2 goals that you created right off the shoot in Philly, both times just kind of used your speed to get down the wall and get past defensemen. Obviously, that's always been a strength of yours, but are you feeling off this summer like even faster than you've been before? Where do you think your speed is compared to previous years?
Yeah, obviously it felt good. I was working a lot on it this summer, and put in a lot of work on and off the ice to get even better with that speed, and also get even more control with that speed to know how to go left or right or whichever way to go with good control when you have that high speed. So something I put a lot of work in, and glad that my first shift kind of paid off right away. So it felt good, and continue working on it.
With the Rangers, anytime against the Devils, it's always a heated matchup. But with preseason, what do you want to focus on to really keep them out of any scoring opportunities?
Yeah, I think for everybody, just trying to get better every game. The more preseason games, the more familiar you become with the systems and stuff like that. So, they got some really good skilled players, so try to keep them in check.
How do you feel getting used to these systems? Do you feel a little bit more comfortable after that first preseason?
Yeah, I think it comes with some time. It's some new things, and then always your first game you feel a little like discoordinated. It feels like guys are everywhere and stuff like that. So it's coming, but it'll take some time.
On top of the systems, obviously you're learning new defensemen to play with and their tendencies and things like that as well. How do you feel like that's going? Is there anyone you've particularly gelled with so far?
Well, there's been some different guys. I played with Baller a little bit there tonight with Husey. So just trying stuff out, seeing how guys mesh. It's kind of that time of year for that. So we'll see how it goes.
We know the younger players are trying to prove themselves. As a veteran player, what do you want to get away from these preseason games?
Just getting more and more sharp. Try to make sure that you're paying attention to the things that we're trying to implement here in camp, the systems and stuff like that. Just make sure that you're doing those things, and keep moving forward.
I'm sorry, one more. When you're building the relationship with guys and you're with a bunch of new defensemen, are you watching the other defensemen even when you're not playing with them at practice, like the other guys in their reps, to try and learn some of their tendencies that way and things like that?
Not really, honestly. You're tired and you're going home getting some rest, but I think the coaches do a good job with the video and stuff like that. So you see where you make your mistakes, where you got to make your improvements with that kind of thing.
What's the biggest takeaways you want this team to take from their 2 wins on Monday into this game?
Again, first defense, attention to detail, taking care of the puck, playing with pace, which I thought we did a good job in the first 2 games where, we had people coming back, catching people from behind. And then execution, puck play. I thought our puck play was real good.
And when you look at the power play, you only introduced it on Monday and still a power play goal from each group. What are the early signs you're seeing from this man advantage?
I think we've made some plays where we've got some pucks around the net. We've had people in the right places. We've taken advantage of that. We've been working on some different things on entries. And, I think every team has 2 or 3 entries or, possibly more. So we're working on a couple different entries that we've got in the zone with a couple. And I think, if you enter the zone, you've obviously saved yourself about probably 20 seconds of regrouping and trying to get back in again.
Seeing Luke out there, assumption would be that he's playing today. What are you sort of hoping to see, knowing the progression that he's had?
Yeah, he is playing. And, build off of where he left off last year. Missed a little bit of our camp, so, I'll be curious to see how he looks. But I think first we know his strength is his skating. How quick he can get back, execute that first pass, and get us out of the zone in a hurry. And I think the second part is being able to join and being part of our offense.
This will be the first time in a game scenario where you'll see possibly the Jack Toffoli Bratt combination. What does Toffoli kind of bring to those 2 players?
Oh, a veteran guy that's a good shooter. That you've got lots of speed there, and I think when we can get the puck on his stick, we had a great year of finishing off. So it's a combination of those two things that I think could make the line effective. Where he can find the holes, he knows where to go. It's just a veteran guy that a lot of times needs less chances than other players.
Where do you think you are right now in terms of finding the right pairs defensively with the guys in and the guys out right now?
I mean, we've got thoughts on it, but I think a little bit of our deep pairs are a little bit of universal. We know we can play Siegenthaler and Hamilton together. We can probably try Ball and Marino together. But we do have options, depending on Luke's play. Luke could easily be up in one of those two spots. We're early in the training camp. We're 2 games in, and we know the D are competing hard for places and where they're going to be in the lineup. So, but in the past, we know what's worked for us too.
Obviously, a product of the split practices is you have different guys out there in the power play units. But when you look at the way the lineups have been split the last few games, you get the first power play in each of these groups, both looking very strong in terms of the personnel. Is there any temptation to start thinking about 2 very balanced power play units instead of loading up on a first unit or anything like?
Well, I think you've pretty well nailed it. The thought going into it was to try to put 2 strong units together. That if we have one unit with one group, they'll get lots of action. We get one group with the other team, they'll get lots of action too in the preseason and in practices. So we know we have lots of bodies, tough decisions. But I think it'll create a power play opportunity where there will be 2 A units where you can defer to the other one if one isn't quite getting it done. So try to split that up. Try to see who kind of pushes their way through in camp.
And Nolan was part of that unit. I saw he left early. Take a
I think it'd be okay though. Yeah. Throw a few stitches in, clean the blood up, and get going.
When you look at who's coming into this game tonight, I know last time you were able to get so many different players out there because it was split squad. What went into deciding who would play against the Rangers?
Well, again, there's players we want to look at. I think we wanted to keep lines together. Bratt couldn't make the trip to Montreal just for some business reasons, and so we put somebody else in there. So we're trying to keep some lines together, breed some familiarity with players. And then, down the lineup, we're looking for pieces to fit. You look at how well, I really think Plot, Hall, and Mercer have played well as a line. So we want to continue to build off that.